Welcome back to part 2. I hope you enjoyed yesterday's episode, part 1. If you've missed it, please go back with Katerina Levanttar. Today we're going to be talking around self-love, self-care, authenticity, integrity. It's something you don't want to miss. She's just incredible, and she goes deep into why she does what she does every single day. And we're going to end this part of the episode where I'm sharing a little bit of my story, and she gives me a little bit of advice regarding my journey. So stick around for that one towards the end, and we'll continue that tomorrow for part 3 as well. Enjoy the episode. Drop a comment if you can relate to anything that she's discussing in this episode as well. That'll be really, really helpful. Enjoy the episode. So if somebody was listening here, and I suppose you're bringing in your own technique here, you'll have your own way of making a man feel safe when you do meet them, so they can open up to you and feel vulnerable themselves. If somebody was listening to this episode and they're struggling, I'm connecting with my guest yesterday as well. He basically, his friend was struggling. He said a few words and he put his hand on his shoulder and he said, "You'll be all right, mate." And he didn't think too much about it. And then that friend went off and unfortunately killed himself. And he's lived with that pain for the rest of his life. And that's why he does the men's circles and the mental health. And it's devastating. But that scenario could be happening every single day, and I'm sure it is. But if somebody was listening to this episode, and I'm trying to connect you two together here a little bit in my own mind, if somebody was listening to this episode and they know or they feel something's not sitting right in a friend, let's go with a male, what piece of advice could you give to that person sorry, I'm repeating myself because I'm trying to reprocess the question in my head.
Yeah.
What piece of information or advice could you give to that friend that they could help their friend that they feel is struggling to open up, if you know what I mean?
Yeah, so here is one thing I've learned from my own life, my own journey through darkness and light and all of the ups and downs, and through other people and from what I observe is that, and I say this very often, we only need one person.
Yeah.
One person who cares, who really cares about us, for us to get up, for us to see the light again, and for us to keep going with this journey. So if you can be that one person, angels, if you can be that one person, and you can, we all can, and it doesn't have to take a PhD. All you do is show care. You show real, genuine care for someone. And you call them, you ask them how they are, you take them on a walk, you don't need to give them advice. They don't need advice. They just need to know that somebody is there who cares about them. I just watched Meet Joe Black. It was very interesting to me because he came as deaf and he said it's lonely out there. And I found somebody who wants me here. And a woman from this dimension says, it's lonely here too. And so it's lonely everywhere. And I'm finding also as we get older, loneliness shows up more. And I'm finding this as one of humans' lessons to learn what loneliness is like and to learn to process it through your body, to learn where it's coming from. And maybe that's how also develop compassion for the rest of the humans. To know what others are going through, because until you feel it in you, you don't really know what it's like for others. So you don't know what the breakup is like for someone unless you've gone through a breakup. Then you feel it differently. If your dog died and that your friend didn't and they never had a dog, they can't feel it on that level for you.
Yeah,
so I feel like what can be done is being there for someone. Obviously, we cannot determine anybody's journeys. And if the person had enough, they had enough here. They have a right to choose for themselves, right? But if we can be there for them and show light, because when somebody feels depressed or suicidal, they see the darkness, they don't see the light. And that's the other side of the coin. There are two sides. And if somebody can arrive at that time and say, look, here's the light. I can show you now because this is my turn now. It changes the whole story.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a great piece of advice, and I'm going through that myself with a friend who's
Mm.
struggling back in the UK, and
Mm.
we don't talk a lot. Actually, I've got another friend who's struggling, and I'm trying not to give advice because they have actually articulated they've got another friend that's given them advice, but they've pulled away from that, and I'm just trying to be their ear. And I do struggle not to, because I just want to give them the tips that I've got. And I think maybe the podcast is this secret way to hope somebody listens, right? And can take pieces of you and take pieces of Aaron from yesterday and all the other guests, because I really want to prevent this and make people realize we do have a choice. We can turn things around. You've turned things around. I've turned things around.
Yeah.
All of the other guests have turned things around
Yeah.
because of their own journey,
Well,
right?
I think it's normalizing it.
Yeah,
Depression is a normal human experience.
for sure.
Nothing's wrong with you.
No.
Anxiety is a normal human experience. Suicidal thoughts are a normal human experience. This is what we're doing here as humans in this dimension. We're going through our experiences and we're going through darkness and light. We're here to feel all of that. That's why we're in our body. And that's why Joe Black came here, because he can't feel it outside of the body.
Mm.
So normalizing the fact that depression is a normal, it's one of the experiences. Not being stuck there though.
Mm.
Feeling it, understanding what it is, and then finding tools to come out of it, because it's not the only time it happens in life. It happens more than once. And also somebody once said to me, well, they all look happy. Why am I depressed? They all look like everything is fine. Most people pretend that they are fine, which is why we are very often surprised that there is another suicide, because we can't see it. We can't see it on the surface. So don't think you're the only one. If my word means anything, I can tell you that pretty much everyone has been through depressive episodes, because this is what humans do.
Yeah.
So don't think something's wrong with you. Don't think you are worse than others. You're not. You're just going through this moment right now, and you just need to be there and get out of that. It's a dark moment. There is a light moment. We're constantly switching. It's a learning moment of your body, your sensations, yourself, life around you, the world. That's all it is.
And that's why I don't like, really, I struggle to say the words mental health, because mental implies, or whether it's a definition or not, people imply that there's something wrong with you when you say
Yeah.
mental health issues. I like to probably more with the angle, because I'm passionate about the brain now. I like to call it brain health. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just, we're having a bad day at the office, or our health is just, or our mental capacity is a bit low or very low. But we can turn that around, and that's by putting the right nutrients into our body. That's getting connection to friends, the earth, however that might look to you. Simple things of just getting out of bed and walking to the end of your bedroom one morning, but next week you might get out your bed and walk to the end of the corridor, and then the week after you might actually step in your garden. Those small simple steps can change the trajectory of your life. And so I like to call it brain health, and whether I'm right or wrong, I feel that's the right way to look at it. And you've said the word authentic self, and it's something that I use as well, and it's something I think we're using quite a lot now. What does authentic self mean to you? How does that look in your mind? Being authentic, being real.
Being real. That's what it means.
Yeah.
Meaning, when you go to a party and you don't feel like dancing today, you don't. When you are somewhere and you don't feel like eating something today, you don't.
Yeah.
When you feel like it's not okay to gossip about someone and you're in a crowd that gossips, you don't.
Yeah.
You're not afraid.
That's
The
integrity as well,
fear.
isn't it?
While authenticity, in my mind, it has a correct correlation to relation to integrity. And the way I put it is that you can't have integrity without authenticity. So authenticity is almost a step to integrity.
Yeah.
And so it's all connected to fear. I
Yeah.
find
100%.
the work
Yeah.
that I do, the work I do is a lot about fear, and it's about self-love, which are related in the opposite spectrum. So fear is what blocks you from being you. Because why? Because you think you need to wear a certain thing to impress someone, or you need to be a certain way to impress someone. So they value you. It's that I will say validation. So they put the value in you, right? You're allowing the outside world to determine your value. And that all is governed by fear of not being accepted, not being part of something, not being cool enough. But guess what? If you think about coolest people or the people we admire, these are the authentic people. These are people who don't worry about what others think about them. They actually show up and they just there. They, if they want to have sugar in their coffee and they know it leads to diabetes, but they want it, you will not pressure them into anything. They will just have it, and it's not going to be a big deal. You don't have to show up and say, well, call me this name, address me in this way. That is fear. That is you not knowing who you are. So to be authentic, you also have to know who you are. What is it that you like? So I give homework to people I work with. And this homework, one of them is let's discover who you are. What is it that you like? And many people don't know because we go through life in a sleepwalking manner, doing things that we absorb from people, places, childhoods, and we think we like them until you sit at the restaurant with them and you say, "What is it that you like to eat?" Whatever you choose.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but no.
Yeah.
So I scan the speech, I make sense of the thought pattern, and these are the things that tell me where you're at. This type of conversation where you'd say, "Oh, I'll go anywhere. It's fine. I'm adaptable." Um, well, adaptable is great. Compromises are great, but what is it that you like?
Mm.
Right? And so these are all the light bulb moments. These are all the opening moments. And again, I also think the moments of breakups, of huge shocks, of disappointments, these are the breakthrough moments. These are the moments we have to use to enter into our own psyche, into ourselves, and understand what is going on there. Who am I? Why this is happening? How do I upgrade or elevate myself to the next level so I can understand this reality better? Because to me, is understanding what is going on here is fascinating first, but also it helps us being here and enjoy being here.
Yeah. I know I used to struggle with people liking me. I don't know, it's because I moved to you've moved to another country, so you can probably relate to this. And I mean, I've always wanted people to like me, and I would always worry about what people, if I'd said something, or I would lose sleep over the thought
Mhm.
of people, whether it was a message, or if I worried I've said something wrong, or if I couldn't. I had a rule: I couldn't go to bed where something wasn't sorted out, right? But I think with the work that I've done, coming to Australia again, seeking that connection with work colleagues, probably tried too hard, if I'm honest, and I put my mind into their mindset. Well, this is when I first arrived, and which was 13 years ago. They have their own life at home as well. They don't need a weird English dude trying to hang out with them all the time. It's probably not that I wanted to hang out outside of school necessarily. It's just I was just seeking a friendship, a connection whilst I'm at work. But I'd still do that now, even though I've been here for a long time. So maybe it's just my innateness that I just want to connect with people and have a laugh. People say, I don't come to work to make friends. I'm like, why not? deep down, that kept coming back to me. Why can't I be your friend at work? Why can't we have a laugh? Why, if we're with kids, why can't we connect and show that these adults can have a good time together in front of these kids, and they'll thrive, the kids will thrive. We as humans, being an employee, will thrive. So I always struggled with that. And I think that really led probably down to why I was bullied in the workplace 10 years ago. But I've really worked on myself, and I don't worry as much anymore. I would say, that I like to be my authentic self, if that's the word we're using, and I don't lose sleep over that anymore. I reflect on certain things, but when I still struggle in the moment. Like I can feel it if something's not vibing. I might need to go for a drive and have a quiet moment to myself and do a little breathing,
Yeah.
a little bit of reflection, and be self-aware and come back to myself and go, no, what I was doing was coming from a good place. So I'm not sorry that I said that. I see value in what I say now and how I act. And I just try and go, well, you know what, my intentions were good. I can't help that's how you took it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I feel like I'm secure with that now.
that's where I always bring it to masculine energy. It's not just man, it's a
Mm,
masculine energy inside a man.
yeah.
And it's energy in general. Because if we really look at ourselves, we are energy. We're breathing, we're functioning, our heart is constantly beating. That's the point, right? And so we can make the same action, but with two different or many more different energies.
Yeah.
So if your energy in the beginning when you moved to Australia, if your energy is coming from a place of lack, is coming from a place of insecurity, is coming from a place of anxiety, we're animals. We're still animals. We're disconnected from that understanding of how to read our energy and how to understand the bodies and signs. We can relearn it if we want to. And I think our body is magnificent in leading us in this process. But so we are scanning each other's energy constantly. And when you approach someone and you smile and you do want to create a connection and friends, but inside your energy is anxious and lacking and insecure, you're pushing people away.
Mm,
But this is why this work is very important. This shifting energy work, this understanding, is opening your mind, challenging your own concepts or beliefs, because you change. There is a way for you to change. And now that you're saying you're more at peace, now
mm,
you can self-regulate. Perfect. We're all on a journey. We're in a process, right? It's better. That's already enough. And because you can self-regulate, you can notice things. You're more at peace. You don't lose sleep over things. And now when you approach someone, your energy is powerful.
mm.
Your energy is enticing. Your energy is like, oh, I want to be there too,
Sure.
right? So you don't have to try this hard anymore. Because also the fact that they don't resonate with you, and not a lot of people or many or everybody has to resonate with you. We all are on different frequencies. Um, you're just gonna go home and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
So you're not in a state of losing something, of being desperate, right?
Mm,
So it's a different state, and we all want to be friends with people who are not desperate. I want to be friends with people who are shining, who are interesting, who are flowing.
yeah.
So that's the
Absolutely.
difference. Same action though.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Same.
I agree. But also I think part of my journey was, I was thriving in the workplace. I was confident, outgoing. I think I showed you last time I won the National Teacher of the Year
You
award,
did.
and but here in Australia there seems to be a culture, and I hear it all the time. And since people have articulated it with a name and have labelled it, I'm like, I see it quite a lot now, and it seems to be quite a famous thing. People put it out there, people don't, it's called the tall poppy. Cut the tall poppy down. When the tall poppy's growing up in the field and the guy comes and cuts it down
Mm-hmm.
and they
Mm-hmm.
start again. And I think so. I think, I don't know, were people insecure in themselves because I had ability to connect? Now, was I the best teacher? Absolutely not. I learned so much from the girls I was working with. I needed them. I was working in a grade level that I'd never done before in my life. I'd gone from high school in England coming to the bottom of the primary school age. So I needed the ladies that I were working with for that soft touch to be with these little 5-year-olds, because that was not me. But somehow I go and win the National Teacher of the Year award in the second year. I definitely know I was not the best teacher. However, I think I was put into that competition from a parent that I had no idea that she'd done that. It was very kind of her, because I just had maybe the ability just to connect with the parents, the community, the children in a positive, light-hearted way, and I was willing to learn and take pieces for everybody. But because I won that award, I was cut down. So people, is it them? Was it? I reflect sometimes, going, was it me being desperate? Was it me trying to connect too much, or was I just doing so well and so good at it, people didn't like it and wanted to cut me down? And I reflect, well, they need to do some work then, right? But it killed me almost in the process.
When you share your story, it makes me so sad.
Join us tomorrow to hear more from today's incredible guests and learn valuable insights to help you lead your own way. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you then.